Welcome to round 2 of the Cooper Tires prototype lights powered by Mazda from Sebring International Raceway. Round 1 saw Tristan Nunez of Performance Tech dominate from the drop of the green flag, setting records for fastest lights race lap and also becoming the youngest driver to win a lights race at 16 years old. Tristan Nunez also set the lights L1 qualifying record here at Sebring with a time of 1 minute 59.536 seconds. Let's take a moment to speak with Tristan about his amazing qualifying run. Fantastic run. You must be very proud of that.
Yeah, definitely. The car was definitely hooked up. I mean, we had a little trouble getting the setup earlier in the day, and we also had that motor problem, but it's definitely a step up from what it was before.
Well, apparently you were very, very comfortable with the car, and looks like you stand a pretty good shot of winning the Sebring race.
Yeah, definitely. I think we had the car to run away. It's all about just getting a good start and running away from the pack.
Well, congratulations on your pole position for the lights races here at Sebring International Raceway. I am now joined by the 2012 12 Hours of Sebring GTC class winner, Dion von Moltke. Great to have you here with us, Dion.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now, Dion, if you would, let's take a look at an analysis of a lap around Sebring in John Brownson's Eurosport L1.
As we jump on board now, we're on the front straightaway here. You're really trying to focus on getting a clean run into one. The wall is a lot narrower now into one, so the apex speeds are a little bit down, but you got to really focus on bringing as much speed in, over the bumps, really trying to hold the car, using all the road on exit, and you're just kind of holding on now, trying to focus on 3, this whole section through 3, 4, 5. You're going to get a late apex here, get a clean run out, always kind of slipping and sliding into the carousel now. Exit is primary, get a great exit, go, 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 down to the floor, flat out, upshifting. Now you're going to focus on a really important brake zone, probably the best overtaking opportunity on the track throughout the entire lap, into the hairpin. Deep as possible, down the gears, going down to second or first gear, get it right down the apex and try to get to flat as early as possible, using all the road on exit. Really, really bumpy here now into the flat out S's. You kind of have a second to breathe here, check your mirrors, see what's going on, and you're going to brake into corner 10. Not as much grip here as the rest of the lap, and is really bumpy on exit here, so the rear end really wants to step out. Get a good exit, clean, clean, clean. Now flat out through these S's here. Keep it going, use all the road on exit. Now you're going to focus through the water tower. A little bit of compression here. Really, you can bring a lot of entry speed in here. Get down to the throttle, use all the road on exit. That curb you can use, go, go, go. Now you're going to have the flat out at Bishop's Bend. Possibly over 110 miles per hour here. Hit both apexes. The car is moving around, coming here. Now, turn 14, really use as much speed as you can. Get down to the curb. Use flow the speed. Going into turn 16 now, the most important corner on the track. Really focus on the exit, down, flat out, use all the curb, and now you have a second to breathe again, going up the back straightaway, the longest straightaway on the track, and you're going to head into the famous turn 17. You're flat out right to the wall, and it's really bumpy here. The car just really wants to get away from you. You got to really tug it. Flat, braking down, downshifting here. Bring it back down to the wall, over the bumps, under the bridge, get back to power, and back onto the front straightaway here, and that's the lap of Sebring International Raceway.
Thank you, Dion, for that riveting track lap analysis here at Sebring International Raceway. Well, we're on board now with number 29, Rich Holt of Performance Tech. The pack is coming together nicely around turn number 17, getting ready to go under the vehicle bridge here at Sebring International Raceway, and we're going to be taking the green flag for the start of round 2 of the Cooper Tires prototype lights powered by Mazda.
And they're now accelerating out of turn 17. Tristan looking for the green, and it's green, green, green here at Sebring International Raceway for round 2 from this week. Tristan with a really nice start here. Nice gap going into corner 1. Almost 3 wide there for a second through turn 1. That won't work, certainly.
Brownson taking Rich Holt on the outside. It looks like they're going down, and it looks like Goickberg's going to hold position. Second place going into turn 3, 4, 5 complex. Goldberg's really trying to chase him down so that he can get to his teammate, number 16, Tristan Nunez of Performance Tech, who is already beginning to build a sizable lead as we're running down back to the hairpin.
And here in the hairpin, one of the best overtaking zones here. Let's see if he can look to the inside here. They're very late move, very late on the brakes. Can you make it look? Oh, man, they're getting pretty close here. Oh, that was a close move there.
And Goldberg looks like he's going to make this stick. Goldberg lays his left wheels off into the dirt, and while the battle for second second's been taking place. Number 16, Tristan Nunez, is really starting to pull out one great lead over his second-place rival, his Performance Tech teammate, Daniel Goldberg.
When you can look behind you and see cars battling, you get really excited to be able to open a gap, especially here on lap 1 with cold tires. Tristan's just done a great job using all the car, and especially when the grip isn't quite there when the tires are warming up here.
Yeah, Tristan checking his mirrors coming off of turn 13 back there, checking to see how far behind him Daniel Goldberg actually is. You know, he's really going to have to try to get a good lead so that he can maintain throughout this 45 timed minute race here at Sebring International Raceway. And we see number 96, Daniel Mancini, another Performance Tech entry in that gold and black car as they're going down the back stretch, heading into turn 17. We'll see how they stack up at the line as Tristan is going into turn 17, staying close to the wall, going through the bumps, and it'll be Tristan Nunez on lap number 1 for round 2 at Sebring International Raceway for the Cooper Tires prototype lights powered by Mazda. Now, talking about L1, let's take a chance to go down into the paddock and talk to Steve Macon with Elan Motorsports about the L1 car.
Okay, this is Steve Macon, General Manager of Elan Motorsports from Brazelton, Georgia. Here we are at the 12 Hours of Sebring in the IMSA Light paddock. Standing looking at the prototype light powered by Mazda. Basically, closed-wheeled carbon monocoque car running the 2-litre MZR Mazda engine with a Hewland gearbox, with the full-blown tunneled underbody for aerodynamics, front splitter, running Alcon calipers, and push-rod suspension. Going on to the monocoque, as I say, full carbon, safety crash tested to Formula 3 spec. Makes the car extremely safe, and obviously the stiffness gained from that chassis gives a lot of torsional stiffness to the car, which is obviously why Tristan Nunez has put it on pole this weekend, and I believe he's broken the lap record, which is great news. And in actual fact, right behind me at this moment is the second place car from Goldberg's car, and obviously being a spec series, each and every car is exactly the same. It's a series down to the drivers, obviously young guys trying to work up the ladder into LMPC, P2, and obviously P1 in the American Le Mans Series.
Thank you to Mr. Steve Macon, General Manager of Elan Motorsports. Well, while we have an opportunity, let's also talk to Rich Dahl, team owner of Eurosport Racing. Hi, we're here with Rich Dahl of Eurosport Racing. Rich, tell us about Eurosport Racing and your plans for 2012.
Well, we've got 4 people signed up to do the series, and 2 of them are looking for the championship run if they can. Anthony Downs and John Brownson. Anthony finished second last year in the series, and he's hoping to improve it by a position this year. And John is also hoping to be there also.
How would you characterize your team amongst all the other teams in the paddock here at Sebring?
They're a pretty dedicated group. We have 1 new driver this year. Jim Garrett has stepped on board. Dan has raced with us a long time, Dan Whalen, as has John and Anthony, and some of his brothers have raced with us also. It's kind of a group that's been together quite a while.
Now, 2 of the Downs boys moved up to LMPC this year. Did you have any words of wisdom for them as they moved up?
It's an expensive car to run, and be careful.
Thank you very much, Rich. Rich Dahl with Eurosport Racing. Thanks, Rich. Yes, I'm sure the Downs boys will be careful with that LMPC car. Well, we're looking at second place, number 6, Daniel Goldberg of Performance Tech, who's trying to chase down his teammate, Tristan Nunez, the number 16-year-old who set the track lap record here in qualifying earlier in the week.
Yeah, Tristan's has done a great job all week here, and Daniel now actually has him as a bit of a rabbit. He can see him on course. He can really try to start pushing as hard as he can and use his image to really start chasing him down.
Oh, and looks like we have second place in the L2 class, Alan Wilzig, number 15, off and back on, so there shouldn't be a caution flag for that spin, but we'll keep an eye on Alan, see if he's got any damage. But L2 class cars, remember, this is multi-class racing, so some great things going on here at Sebring. And looks like we're going to take a little bit of a break. So we'll be back to round 2 of Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda as Tristan Nunez crosses the line, still leading overall.
And we're back here at the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda, round 2 at Sebring International Raceway here. Tristan Nunez still out front, trying to get a gap on his teammate, is still coming around here. And we're going through corner 1 here, going into corner 3. Everyone's nice and spread out. Look at John Brownson here. Really nice line, late apex there, and it's really hard to get a good clean run through here. Going out of the carousel and looking for a good run onto the back straightaway.
Don't forget to follow both Prototype Lights and Signature on Twitter to learn more about the series and get the latest series, team, driver, and television updates. Also, don't forget to visit our websites at prototypelights.com and prototypelightstv.com. So, while we have a moment here during this race, let's hear from Reg Tarleton about the history of Sebring International Raceway and the 12 Hours of Sebring.
Sebring International Raceway is America's oldest road racing circuit. The raceway began as Hendricks Field, an Army Air Force training base located just outside Sebring, Florida. After being deactivated in 1945, Alec Ullman suggested the airport site hold a sports car road race. The Sam Collier 6-hour memorial race in 1950, thus becoming the first sports car endurance race in America. 1952 saw the first 12 Hours of Sebring with an average race speed of only 62.8 miles per hour over 754 miles. Sebring has been honored by drivers with names such as Moss, Fangio, Hill, Shelby, Gurney, Andretti, and McQueen, to name a few. In these 60 years, Sebring has produced some of the finest cars, teams, and drivers competing at the highest level of sports car racing.
Thanks, Reg, for that history of the Sebring International Raceway.
Back on track here, looking at the number 55 Jerry Kraut car being hounded by the number 4 Antonio Downs entry from Eurosport Racing as they're coming around turn 2, heading into the turn 3, 4, 5 complex. Important passing zone here Antonio needs to take advantage of. Get real nice and close up onto Kraut as they're heading down the straightaway into the hairpin where he can hopefully outbrake him and maneuver around and take that spot.
Yeah, Downs didn't get the best run there through 5. He's starting to experience a little bit of aero deficiency there following the car in front of him. So he's got to get a good run here out of the hairpin and see what he could go into turn 10. The braking for turn 10 is extremely bumpy, so maybe he can force the car in front into a bit of a mistake here.
Well, we'll keep watching this battle unfold, and we'll keep watching number 96, Daniel Mancini, in the black and gold car, who keeps popping into frame here and there. If this battle continues, I'm sure we'll see Daniel Mancini start to close in as they continue to run around, and you saw the red number 34 car of John Brownson just ahead as they're heading around and continuing to go at this battle. Downs really needs to get up on the rear wing of the 55 car of Jerry Kraut if he wants to get a run on any one of these curves here at Sebring.
Yeah, Mancini's really trying to hope that they start battling and that Downs can start trying to overtake in maybe not the best spot so he can get involved in this battle. But what Downs is struggling with right now is when you get really close to the car behind, the aerodynamics on your car don't work as well. You start to pick up a big understeer and you don't have the grip you had before. Going through turn 17 over the bumps, this will be really prevalent.
Well, we're looking right now as the number 16 car of Tristan Nunez has crossed the start-finish line. Really gives you an appreciation of the gap this young 16-year-old has built as he goes around turn 1 and turn 2, heading up to turn 3. I mean, he's really running away from the rest of the pack. And these are all spec L1 class cars, so it's really down to preparation by the team, but also a lot of it's driver.
Yeah, absolutely. Tristan's done a great job here, and you know, throughout his whole career, he's been doing a great job. When I was actually in go-karting, he was getting involved in it and showed his skill right off the bat. And right now, he's got a nice sizable gap, and it's hot, it's grimy here in Sebring. It's going to be really important to look after the tires and keep them under you for the whole race so you can keep the gap.
Well, we see right now that the number 4 Antonio Downs car has actually gotten past the number 55 of Jerry Kraut as they're going under the Mobile 1 walk bridge, and looks like Kraut wants that position back as they're heading down into the hairpin. Couldn't outbrake him, so we'll see if Antonio Downs can keep this spot as they continue here at round 2 with the Cooper Tires prototype lights powered by Mazda, as number 4 Antonio Downs seems to be pulling away from the 55 of Jerry Kraut.
What Kraut's doing smart here is he knows that he's slower than him, but he's still trying to fill the mirrors of the car that just overtook him, trying to force him to make a mistake and get that position back. Anything you could do here is a really good mover.
Absolutely. If he can shake him up a little bit, cause that mistake to happen, it's going to really give him the opportunity of pulling back up onto Downs. And we see the black and gold car of number 96, Daniel Mancini, still lurking back there behind Kraut. We'll see if he can get involved and get up into this mix as we continue around here at Sebring International Raceway. Antonio Downs swinging out for the turn 16 corner, heading down the backstretch, getting set up for the all-important turn 17. The Cooper Tires Prototype Lights Race Series is a multi-class series with the purpose of developing drivers to move into the LMS and other professional racing series. While Lights has 2 classes, L1 and L2, comprised of less than 20 entries, the ALMS has 5 classes, with race entries up to 64, such as here at Sebring. Let's talk to Ricardo Vera, 2011 Lights L1 champion, who has moved into the ALMS LMPC category for 2012. Hi, we're here with Ricardo Vera, Performance Tech Motorsports. Ricardo, you spent last year in L1 in the Lights program, and you in fact won the championship overall. How do you feel that has prepared you for a full season in LMPC in the American Le Mans Series?
Yeah, well, at the moment it's pretty good because driving the L1 car give me a better knowledge and understanding of the track that we're gonna run in the LMPC car, most of it. And yeah, it's very similar. You have big brakes, much power. You know, the changing or the shifting is pretty good.
Do you think the multi-class setup in IMSA Lights prepared you for the multi-class racing here in the ALMS?
Yeah, it's pretty much similar because IMSA tracks were more fast in the L1 car than the L2 car in the Cooper Tires Lights. So we had to try to pass and go through traffic. And yeah, it's pretty good. So.
How would you feel the downforce? Is it similar from LMPC to Lights 1?
No, it's very much in the LMPC car. It's a bigger car, you know, but it's a little bit difficult to drive it because all the weight is in the back, and yeah.
Thanks, Ricardo Vera. I appreciate that interview, but I can tell you firsthand, there is absolutely nothing out there that really prepares you for the American Le Mans Series Sebring 12-hour traffic, especially around night. It's just mayhem out there, and no matter how experienced you are, it's always a new experience.
That's absolutely right, Dion. Even though the Lights classes are multi-class racing, I really don't think it's any preparation to amount to the amount of carnage that you'll see here at Sebring 12 Hours, especially with the WEC involved.
Yeah, I mean, you learn a lot of racecraft here, more particularly on how to overtake and how to really work and set up these cars, and it's great training on that aspect. But 64 cars around a track like this, the closing rates, when it comes to nighttime, it's so dark you absolutely see nothing. It's really hard to get a transition into that.
Absolutely, and you know, we're looking at Antonio Downs and Jerry Kraut continuing to battle for position here at Sebring International Raceway for the second round of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda as they're going through the turns 3, 4, 5 complex. Again, this is one of those battles within the overall battle, and Kraut lays some wheels off, so he's going to lose a little bit of time there as they're trying to chase down John Brownson, who's up ahead of and it looks like John Brownson has spun.
Wow, that's an interesting place there going into the brake zone. I guess he locked up the rear tires there and has it back and underway here. He's going to have a lot of work to do to get back up front.
Now, Brownson's a very aggressive driver. In round one, he was really pushing it very, very hard. And Brownson, a seasoned veteran gentleman driver, driving with Eurosport Racing, he's quite aggressive. So it'll be interesting to see how he comes back here now that he's moved back a couple of positions in the classification.
Yeah, unfortunately for him as well, when you spin out, hopefully he didn't flat spot his tires there, because when you do that, you're going to have to pit or else they'll all blow up, and we don't want that happening out there.
Absolutely. And, you know, number 16, Tristan Nunez, coming around turn 17, going through the bumps, completing another lap here as he is really starting to outpace this field and really starting to put a good lead on as he crosses the start-finish line. I think Tristan is really in a situation where he may be able to start backing off just a little bit so he can conserve the car somewhat. He's got a very nice, comfortable lead.
Yeah, it's actually, believe it or not, a great situation, but also very difficult to manage. When you can look behind and not see any car behind you, it's a really nice feeling, but you got to really be careful with the tires. You got to be careful and think about each corner, taking one corner at a time and bring it home for the win.
Well, I can see that Tristan is, we've got a replay of John Brownson, and looks like he did just overbrake and just whipped it around there going into the hairpin. Just a simple mistake.
Yeah, especially going into the brake zone there. It's very bumpy, so it's easy to make a mistake down there.
Well, I believe we're going to take another break as Tristan Nunez continues to lead round 2 from the Sebring International Raceway with the Cooper Tires prototype lights powered by Mazda. And we're back to racing here at Sebring International Raceway with round 2 of the Cooper Tires prototype lights powered by Mazda. Tristan Nunez in car number 16, the Performance Tech entry, is continuing to lead this race, and he is really trying to pull away quite a sizable lead, isn't he, Dion?
Yeah, they've really hit well on that setup here, and car and driver are working great together. The team seems to hit right dead on the setup here.
Yeah, going down the back stretch, he's really trying to build up some speed, preparing for the braking zone and turning into the very bumpy turn 17. As I've been told, there's 100 lines in turn 17, and none of them are right. So we're going under the vehicle walk bridge, coming down the start-finish line, and it looks like we have a caution flag. Yes, we have a full course caution. We'll have to see what the reasoning is behind that full course caution, but this is definitely going to tighten the pack back up and give all those drivers behind Tristan an opportunity to jump on him.
Yeah, definitely. Tristan hopefully has been saving his tires a little bit now that he's built up a gap, so he still has something left under him to reopen that back up, but a great opportunity for some exciting racing going towards the finish here.
Yeah, we see Tristan Nunez in car number 16 is in first place, followed by number 6 Daniel Goldberg, another Performance Tech entry, and followed in third by number 10 Mikhail Goekberg. Well, while we're under caution, let's talk with Performance Tech's Anthony Nicolosi. He had a full year in LMPC last year after stepping out of the Lights series, and let's talk with him about his experiences moving from Lights into the LMPC American Le Mans Series classification. Hi, we're here with Anthony Nicolosi of Performance Tech Motorsports. Anthony, your last year in Lights L1 was 2010. You spent your first full year in the Performance Tech LMPC car in 2011. What would you say are the largest differences and also the largest similarities between the L1 car and the LMPC car?
Well, the biggest difference is you have bigger tires, you got a bigger motor, it's a bigger car, so it's a lot harder to move it around. With the Lights cars, you could actually, manipulate it to do what you want. So still learning how to do that with this. So really the big difference is the big brakes, big motor, big tires. The similarities, which took me almost last year to figure out, it actually has more downforce than the L1 car, and it could stick just like an L1 car did, which I didn't think it was going to be able to do, but I was very impressed by it. So as you learn to grow and learn the car, you see that it's actually just a bigger version of the L1 car.
Do you feel that the Lights L1 really prepared you for the LMPC car?
100%. When you go from, well, I haven't done anything other than downforce cars or formula type, not formula cars, but downforce cars, sports cars, it's definitely going through a couple of years of L1 not only teaches you the racecraft because it's such a great series, but it also teaches you what a car needs to do in a high-speed turn when you're using the downforce and the mechanical grip to get you through that turn. So yeah, it's definitely very important that you drive a smaller car before you get into this thing.
I would imagine also the multi-class setup of IMSA lights helped you with the multi-class setup of ALMS.
Well, yep. Although in L1 you only pass an L2 car maybe once during the race or twice, in the ALMS those races are a lot longer, so you're passing GT cars every lap. So it's just a lot more busy in the ALMS.
Thank you for your time. Anthony Nicolosi, Performance Tech Motorsports.
Thanks, Anthony, and we're going to get back here because we're about to go green flag here at Sebring International Raceway.
That's right. The field is all packed up, coming around turn 17, being led by Tristan Nunez in car number 16, and Daniel Goldberg in car number 6 is right on Tristan's tail. He's going to try to not let Tristan get away as they come around turn 17, and it's green flag. We're back to racing here at Sebring International Raceway for round 2 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda.
And a great start here from Tristan. You saw him really clean off those tires before going back to the green, and he has the car underneath him. Looks like he has a good run through one, and wow, that was a pretty interesting move there later back in the pack through one.
Yeah, it looks like Brownson's starting to let that aggressive streak shine through again as he goes around Kraut, and he has Antonio Downs in his sights. After his spin, I guarantee you he wants to get back up in that running order. He's a very aggressive driver anyway, and teammate or no, he's going to go right after. Oh, and Holt goes right through the grass and gets it back on track.
That was a bit of an interesting line there.
Absolutely. Nice save on his part. So we got Tristan leading Daniel Goldberg and Mikhail Goldberg, Antonio Downs in 4th, followed by John Brownson in 5th and Jerry Kraut in 6th. And oh boy, wow. Mikhail goes around Goldberg, and they really are going at it a little bit here at Sebring International Raceway. And oh, looks like Goldberg has a problem. Okay, Goldberg is dropping back in the classification. Looks like he's got a
flat tire, maybe, Ben?
Left rear. So we'll try to find out more about what's going on as we keep on racing here at Sebring International Raceway, see if that brings out a caution. But while we're at it, let's learn a little bit more about the LMPC class car versus the L1 class car with Brent O'Neill of Performance Tech. Well, we're here with Brent O'Neill with Performance Tech. In the preseason show, Brent spoke to us about his in-house ladder system from Lights L1 to the ALMS LMPC. We're here to speak with Brent a little bit more about the transition from Lights L1 to LMPC. Brent, the Lights L1 car, what would you say are the major differences as well as the major similarities from Lights L1 to LMPC?
Well, there's the similarities are that they've both got a lot of cornering speed. Big difference between the LMPC car and the Lights car is that the LMPC car has a lot more engine, and it's a lot quicker down the straightaway. A big battle with moving from Lights 1 into LMPC is all the traffic that you're up against in LMPC.
In Lights L1, you do have a little bit of similarity with the class structure of L1 cars approaching L2 cars at a faster speed. Do you feel that gives any preparation towards the ALMS LMPC?
It certainly does. I mean, it gives some preparation. Again, there's at this race with the L1 and L2 cars, there's only 3 L2 cars, and you're probably only going to lap them maybe 2 times during the 30-minute race. During the 12-hour race, we'll have the P1 cars about every 10 laps running over us. So it's that's the biggest challenge going from the Lights 1 to LMPC. If you can get around that, the LMPC car, it's actually a little easier to drive than the Lights 1 car. It's got power steering, it's got better brakes, so it's a little bit easier to drive. And a guy that's fast in L1, so far, anybody that we've tested, Ricardo Vera is a good example. He won the championship last year, and he's right up to speed immediately in the car.
Well, we got a chance to speak with Anthony Nicolosi a little bit earlier, and Anthony has the experience of 1 full year under his belt in LMPC. How's Anthony doing from his move from Lights L1 to LMPC?
He's doing great. You know, it's still a big learning curve moving in, as we call it, into the big show, and there's a lot more pressure just to perform. And Anthony's done a stellar job. I mean, he 2 times last year we had issues in qualifying, and he drove the car legitimately from the back of the pack up to, you know, second and third place in his first stint. So he's done a great job. We've got Rafael Matos in the car with us this year, who's really helping Anthony and Ricardo with their driving.
Well, thank you very much, Brent. We look forward to seeing Ricardo's first year in LMPC and continue following Anthony Nicolosi.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Brent, and we're back to racing here with Antonio Downs, John Brownson, and Jerry Kraut battling for position here at Sebring International Raceway for the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda.
Yeah, look at Brownson here. He's really coming up through the field, making some really aggressive moves that are working for him. Now all over the back of Downs, and look at him coming to the brakes. So really, a little bit of lockup on the rears there. He's got to be as a driver.
Oh, sideways, coming through the hairpin.
Really aggressive.
He's really pushing, trying to get up on Antonio. Teammates or not, he wants that spot. That is one thing I can say about Brownson, is he is very aggressive and very competitive in the red number 34 L1 class car, and Antonio Downs in number 4 is going to do all he can to keep Brownson behind him. Possibly Brownson can force him into a mistake.
You know, one thing Brownson's got to start doing now is working with his brake bias. We saw him lock rears a little bit there, so he won't be able to brake as deep as he wants to get by down. So he's got to be playing with those brake bias, go to the front a little bit, and that should help him under the brake zone there.
And as Antonio and Brownson continue to battle, we can see Kraut, number 55, getting closer and closer to this battle. He's going to make it a 3-way battle for position, and it's no longer going to be just Antonio and John, but it's going to be Antonio, John, and Jerry going at it here at Sebring International Raceway.
And that's going to happen right now. You saw Brownson either try to make a bit of an interesting overtaking maneuver into 16, which is possible, but lost a lot of ground, and Kraut is right into the back of him now.
That's right. Kraut is trying to go to the inside at 7. Oh, and Brownson cuts him off. Brownson and Kraut are now going at it. Whatever move it was that Brownson was making didn't quite work because it allowed Antonio to get away and Kraut to catch up on him right up on the rear as they're going across the start-finish line.
He's got mirrors full of Kraut now going into 1 there. And we come back to the action here. 1's a little bit harder to overtake into, and he decides to keep it going, keep it left behind him, and see if he can get him somewhere else in the lap.
Well, while we're watching this exciting racing, we still have to take a break. So let's head out of here, and we'll be back right after this break for round 2. And we're back to racing here at Sebring International Raceway for the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda, round 2. Please be sure to check out Prototype Lights' website at prototypelights.com. Well, we can see the battle on track is still continuing to heat up as Antonio Downs, John Brownson, and Jerry Kraut are still going at it. And again, Brownson going sideways through the hairpin. He is really pushing that car.
Man, he is using everything that car has and really giving the fans something to cheer for here, and there's a lot of them here this weekend.
Absolutely. This place is packed. Usually a record-setting time for racing in North America, and I do not doubt that this one is another record breaker. And as we're coming around, we see Antonio Downs getting a little bit more of a comfortable lead on Brownson and Kraut, so they're spreading out just a little bit, maybe conserving just a little bit as the laps begin to close and the time begins to run out.
I tell you what, Brownson's not conserving anything right now. He's really abusing those rear tires. I don't know how much longer he can last driving like that right now.
I'm not sure myself. I mean, look at him coming around. You can see it sliding just a little bit, and maybe we're seeing the results of those tires going away as it looks like Kraut's coming back up on him again.
Yeah, if he can get a good run out in one of these corners, he can get by him, but that arrow push that he's going to get through 17 might hurt him going into 1.
Well, we can see there coming down into 17, we've got the number 10 car of Mikhail Goetberg, followed by Antonio Downs, then Brownson, then Jerry Kraut. So positions 2 to 4 quite condensed and really caught up together here on the track.
You can see Brownson using...
Full course caution. Oh, Alan Wilzig, car number 15, has spun again. He's L2 class, but he's got that going underway. I'm not sure why that would bring out a full course caution. perhaps there's something else that we're not able to see on the monitors at this time. And sure enough, it's number 42 car of Jim Garrett's having trouble getting started. If he's in a tough position, they're going to go ahead and put the cars back under caution, get them packed up, and let's get this all sorted out and get restarted.
That was interesting. It looked like two completely different parts of the track there. I think that was in 5 where he lost it, which is pretty slick.
Well, it looks like we're going to have a short caution period. Tristan Nunez, followed by the number 10 car of Mikhail Goikhberg and the number 4 of Antonio Downs coming around turn 17. And we're back to green flag racing once again here at Sebring International Raceway, round 2, Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda.
You saw Tristan really looking in his mirrors there. Didn't get the greatest of starts, but was able to hold him off going into 1. And we'll see if
Brownson cuts to the outside of Downs, going to take advantage of this restart, and he's going to keep position as, yes, he's got a little nose on Antonio Downs. Oh, they're just sliding around, pushing it hard as they can.
What an overtaking move there. Great job going around the outside of 3. That was a really
Downs into the grass.
Oh, using all the road and more there.
And Kraut around Downs going into the backstretch under the walk bridge. It looks like Kraut is going to be able to hold off Downs possibly, or Downs is going to try to outbrake him into the hairpin, and boy, they are just going right after each other.
They are just all over each other and using all the road. He's got to get back up to Kraut. Kraut's got a bit of a gap there.
Yeah, absolutely. They are really going to go at each other. Now, it looks like Danny Mancini, number 96 in the black and gold car, he's catching back up. And Rich Holt in the number 29 white and blue car there just behind Mancini, he's really going to start pushing on them a little bit too. That's the great thing about these L1 and L2 class cars, being spec cars. You really get some extremely exciting racing here at Sebring International Raceway and at all the wonderful tracks that the Prototype Lights visit.
Yeah, absolutely here. It's just great battling here, and you see Gary Kraut's name come up across the screen, and he's opening up the gap a little bit. Going through Bishop's Bend, flat out, really high speed, and if you're going to try to follow anyone through, it's really difficult through there.
Absolutely. Looks like as this order keeps tightening up, it's almost difficult to see. It's like a beehive out there. 29 Rich Holt really trying to get up into the mix. 96 of Mancini trying to catch up. And, you know, all of the drivers here in the lights classes, they really are pushing it. These guys are really, and we see Antonio Downs cutting to the inside of Jerry Kraut as they're going around turn 17. Looks like he's had enough of Kraut.
Man, what a nice overtaking move there. Downs made that look easy, but I know what? Kraut's going to come back at him, and he's going to have a mirror full of Kraut over the next few laps. We'll see if he can get by and pass.
Oh, and it looks like Rich Holt is taking a look to the inside of Danny Mancini, the black and gold number 96 Performance Tech car. Looks like he's going to try to take a look to the inside of L1 and thought to the wiser. So it looks like this battle is really heating up across the board. Battle for second here as Mikhail Goikhberg in the number 10 blue car is being hounded by the number 34 of John Brownson. Brownson, who spun earlier, has really gotten aggressive and has really started moving back up through the classifications. He wants to get up to the lead, and he wants to finish on that podium.
I tell you what, those caution periods really helped him out, and Tristan's going to be looking in his mirrors very soon here and seeing a big red car coming after him.
Oh, and it looks like Brownson's really he's thinking about it and sliding again through the hairpin. He is just pushing it hard as he can, and he is eating up those rear tires. But Mikhail Goikhberg's going to try to keep John Brownson behind him as much as he possibly can. This is a battle for second place.
Getting a little defensive there, but leaves the door open and using the curb. It's tight there. It's really tight, but Brownson, can he hold it around the outside?
Goikhberg
it's going to be
hops
close
the curb. And Brownson on the outside of Goikhberg, they're side by side. Oh, and bump a little bit. Now Goikhberg trying to look to the inside, and it looks like Brownson's able to hold him off and take second place, number 34, John Brownson, Eurosport Racing, over the number 10 car of Mikhail Goikhberg.
It takes some large attachments to do what he just did there. That was a nice pass, and tell you what, if he sells some tires under him, he's got something for Tristan.
Yeah, absolutely. John Brownson's now focusing on the first place car of Tristan Nunez. I don't know if he's going to be able to catch Tristan. Tristan's really built a substantial lead.
Yeah, and with not much left to go in the race here, we should be picking up the white flag. It'll be difficult for Brownson to make any moves and catch back up to him.
Well, we see Brownson lead going around turn 17, and he has totally lost sight of Tristan Nunez. So it looks like Tristan Nunez has quite a comfortable lead. As we're coming to the white flag, we can see the white flag waving there for leader number 16, Tristan Nunez of Performance Tech, and second place, number 34 of John Brownson, followed by the number 10 car of Mikhail Goichberg here for the last lap of round 2 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda from Sebring International Raceway.
And see, what Tristan's thinking now is last time through corner 5, last time braking, going to the throttle. This is the last time I'm doing that, making sure to hit all his marks just perfectly here. Doesn't have a challenge from behind like Brownson does, so he's able to do everything a little bit easier.
Yeah, so he's able to kind of ease up a little bit on this last lap, but I can tell you the guys behind, they are really going to be fighting for it this last lap. This is the last chance to get that podium step, whether it's going to be Brownson on podium step 2 or Mikhail Goichberg on podium step 2. We'll find out by the end of this lap.
And it's getting close here. It looks like Brownson got a good enough run out of the hairpin where he shouldn't be challenged, but he's got to get a good run through this next part of the next few corners. So going into 16, he's got a gap.
Any mistakes will be vital here on this last lap. A mistake by Brownson means he could lose positions, maybe even 2, with Antonio Downs in car number 4 coming up behind them quickly.
Golenberg, you can tell once that he's trying to push his car as hard as it'll go, but so far Brownson's doing a great job keeping it clean and keeping it fast.
Absolutely. Brownson's really kind of moving out there, making no mistakes, and we see the leader, number 16, Tristan Nunez, keeping an eye on his mirrors, hitting his marks, hitting his brake points, and keeping it smooth as he's coming down towards turn 17, and around turn 17, he'll hopefully be seeing that checkered flag victorious.
There's nothing better than coming around turn 17, the most iconic corner in North American motorsports, knowing that you're about to take the checkered flag for a win here around Sebring International Raceway.
And here we go, through the bumps, under the bridge. It's Tristan Nunez, car number 16, 16-year-old, L1 class Performance Tech winner and victorious here, round 2 at Sebring International Raceway. Let's take a look at the final race results. In the L1 class, we see 16-year-old Tristan Nunez taking the win in a time of 45 minutes, 10.552 seconds. Second place goes to John Brownson of Eurosport Racing, and third goes to the JDC Motorsports entry piloted by Mikhail Goichberg. In the L2 class, we see Scott Tucker taking home the victory, followed by the Performance Tech prepared entry of Alan Wilzig. Fantastic win for Tristan Nunez of Performance Tech. Let's take an opportunity to go down into the paddock and talk to Tristan about his race win. Hi, we're here with Tristan Nunez. Tristan, fantastic run, second race of the weekend, and your second win. Tell us a little bit more about your win today.
Well, today was more of a conservative day. We were just worried about saving the car and waiting till the last lap to really lay down the lap and just making sure nothing broke. But yeah, definitely a great start to the 2012 season with 2 wins and a couple of records. So I'm happy about this whole weekend.
Well, it definitely seems like you have a bright future ahead of yourself, and you have a new campaign slogan, the Sweet 16. Could you explain that a little more?
Well, well, I'm 16 years old, and I have number 16, so I'm going to roll with that for the rest of the season.
Well, it sounds like a good way to start the season with 2 wins and your new slogan, Sweet 16. Tristan Nunez of Performance Tech Motorsports. Well, that's it for us here from Sebring International Raceway for round 2 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda. Thank you to Dion Von Moltke for joining us for the race commentary, and we'll see you again next time at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca.